So, yesterday, uh, on Monday, we have learned about RDS. What is RDS? Basics of RDS. So, what is RDS? Relational database in the cloud. Before that, we have understand what is relational database. It is a database engine which deals with structural data, right? In Amazon, we have nearly six type of relational database engine available out of the box, starting with MySQL Server, Oracle Database, SQL Server, Postgres, MariaDB, and Aurora provided by Amazon, AWS Aurora. So these are the out of the box database engine available in the cloud. Now Amazon is providing you the database or relational database service. So what are the things which Amazon is giving you out of the box? Like what are the features that which database uh, people were facing on the when they are running the database on premise or they are managing their own database. So these are the few challenges which were faced by a company while maintaining the databases, like system failure, system upgradation. It can be hardware, it can be software, in performance issue because of the traffic increased, maintaining the security, data loss, network issues, scalability, and operational maintenance. These are the few topics of uh, these are the few areas where if you are maintaining a database, you will find a challenge. Now, Amazon has given all this feature out of the box, and you don't have to maintain this thing. You don't have to worry about all these challenges, which are generally faced by any organization while creating the database or maintaining the database. So one is thing is multi-z, other is read replica. So multi-z is for disaster, and read replica is to increase the performance. So how it will done? We have a PPT. We'll talk about that in detail. Then we have NoSQL database or non-relational database industry. There are many no-relational database available. MongoDB is one of there. It is an open source database available in the market. But Amazon has provided its own database. It is called DynamoDB. It is NoSQL database. That means it's a key value pair database. It requires at least one primary key. Apart from that, you can add any number of uh, field or entity in this data. So this is an example of non-relational database, how the records are stored. So they are stored in JSON format. So this was an example where the relational database you have to maintain the each record if you are adding a new field. So they are tightly coupled. All the records are tightly coupled with the structure of the table. Then we have talked about data warehousing. What is data warehousing? Again, it's a type of relational database, but it has a more feature. They are used for analyzing the data. Okay, they are the engines. They are the application which are dealing with databases. They are, but they are used for analyzing the huge amount of data in a single query, in a single task. Okay, so in industry, there are two type of databases. One is called OLTP, other is called OLAP. So that's a bifurcation or differentiation, and on the basis of your use case you will decide which type of database one should use. According to your use case, you should either go with the RDS or you should go with the warehouse, data warehouse. Both are databases, both are data engine, but as per the use case you should decide which you have to use. Just like, what is OLTP? A single transaction, single level transaction, where the user will fetch a single level information. Just like while booking a bus, while booking a ticket, you are fetching a single level or row records from the database. right? You're not pulling a huge amount of data. uh, that is a OLTP, just like a client information, or other example, your banking statement. You're just pulling a couple of records, not more than that. But if you're dealing with a huge amount of data, I'm talking about lakhs, billions, and millions of records you're trying to pull together and processing them and getting some information out of it, then you have to you have to have a special type of database, that is OLAP. It categorizes into OLAP. It is an online analytical platform. So in Amazon, what is OLTP? OLTP, it's RDS, and OLAP, it's Redshift, data warehousing. So data warehousing is categorized under OLAP, and Amazon provide Redshift as a OLAP database. So data warehousing databases are different type of architecture, both from database perspective and infra layer perspective. Then in the final we have talked about caching. Caching is done for increasing the performance of your databases, right? So here we can use elastic cache on top of your databases, which will increase the read operation of your database. So there are two type of cache mechanism or cache engine available. Here also there are cache engine. One is memcached, other is Redis. We'll talk about that in detail. So for exam point of view, always go with this page. This is the your summarize OLTP, SQL, MySQL, Postgres, Oracle, Aurora, MariaDB. This is RDS, Relational Database Service. If in exam, if you want to go get a word called NoSQL, just directly go with the DynamoDB. If you are if you find a word where you have to analyze the data, you have to go with a business intelligence or data warehousing. If you find these words, go with the Redshift. Okay, and Elastic Cache to improve the performance. So today we are going to create our RDS. How can we create a database in AWS, and then how can we connect to it? Okay, so you can install your database, or you can install your MySQL database on EC2 as well. So there is a guide available in your so in Google Drive, installing MySQL server in EC2 machine. So if you want to manage your own database, you don't want to go with Amazon database. So it's just like installing a database on premise. जैसे अगर आप एज अ सॉफ्टवेयर खुद आपका डेटाबेस इंस्टॉल करना चाहते हो, तो दिस इज द गाइड. So before cloud, this is how the in industry people used to install the database or maintain any database. तो यहाँ पे MySQL database आपको EC2 में install कर सकते हो, and you can connect to that. Okay. So assignment 1, assignment 2. So we are going to create my RDS machine today. Meanwhile, anybody has any questions on RDS?
सर मेरे पास ओरेकल और
Hmm.
माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एसक्यूएल सर्वर का भी इंस्टॉल है तो वो कनेक्ट हो जाएगा ना?
प्री इंस्टॉल कहाँ पे है?
मेरे पीसी में ही।
तो आपके पीसी में कनेक्ट होगा, हम क्लाउड में कर रहे हैं ना.
अच्छा ओके।
कहाँ पे इंस्टॉल्ड है, हम किसकी बात कर रहे हैं? हम ऑन प्रीमाइस की बात कर रहे हैं. तो आपने अपने लैपटॉप में इंस्टॉल किया है ना. मैं कह रहा हूँ
अच्छा
आप EC2 में इंस्टॉल कर लो वो.
ओके।
बट अगर आपका लैपटॉप क्रैश हुआ तो आपका पूरा डेटाबेस उड़ जाएगा. बट RDS, it give you the all the backups, all the read replicas, multi-z, all the operations are done with this. Okay, so this is a dashboard of RDS. Again, dashboard can change over the time, but you have to go to databases and you have to click on create database. Now there are, let it load. So you can see there are so much properties is there. It is just similar to creating an EC2 machine. Okay, RDS का creation is similar to what we are doing with EC2 machine. EC2 machine कर रहे थे तो हम क्या क्या select कर रहे थे? OS, उसके ऊपर type of EC2 machine, उसके बाद security group, right? Then storage, ये सब select कर रहे थे, agree? But instead of OS, here we are selecting the database engine. Now, can you see by default which engine is selected? Aurora. Aurora has two compatibility, MySQL and Postgres. We will talk about that. But by default, Aurora is selected. And keep in mind, Aurora is chargeable service. Okay, मैं आपको charge दिखाऊंगा अभी. So Aurora is not free. Again, when you are creating, if you want to in free tier, go with MySQL database. Go with MySQL. MySQL is open source database. Open source मतलब वो free है. Apart from this, MariaDB is also free, but we are going with MySQL right now. And apart from that, Oracle, MySQL Server, they are licensed database. And Aurora is Amazon proprietary database, and it is not covered in free tier. Okay, so by default वो Aurora select करता है. Why it is selecting Aurora by default? Because Amazon wants to sell its own database, right? So be very careful. Many students do mistake on this point where they are not selecting MySQL. Scroll down. Now you can see the engine version. So this is MySQL version, just like your OS version. Similar to that, these are the versions of MySQL. So I'm not selecting anyone. Let it be default, whatever the best version it will do. Okay, skip this part right now. Template. Do you want to go with the production one or do you want to go with the free tier? So if you select the production one, if you scroll down in the end, you will see the charges. This is the monthly charge for your database. Monthly charge. That is $2,300 per month. And you can calculate per day how much it will cost you. Nearly $50 to $70 per day. So while creating this thing, be very sure that you are selecting MySQL and you are selecting free tier. So if you select the free tier, you can see there are some options which are gray out, which are not available in free tier, but we can enable it after some time. Okay, so be very careful while creating the RDS machine and check in the end just check it out that what is the estimated cost. So it is saying estimated cost is $20, but if you are in free tier, then if you select T2 micro, then it will be considered as your free tier eligibility. So we are going to create free tier. Now here it is an option called multi-z, but it is gray out. We talk about multi-z and we'll create the database again. Don't worry about that. Now here you can give any name. My SQL DB. Okay, you can give any name to your database. This is just for your console. Okay, now here you have to give the password which you have to log into the database. Okay, so this is the username and password you want to give to your database. So I am giving root. Mm, you can't use at the rate, I think. Hmm. Okay, root, and this is the password. Now here, this is your T3 micro. I'm selecting T2 micro. Okay, T3 is also coming in free tier as I have shown you in the below, but I am selecting T2 micro and let it be uh, standard one. They have removed the standard one. Okay, okay. Select include the previous version classes. No, okay. Scroll down. Underline hard disk. Why this hard disk is required? To store your database data. So you can see general purpose SSD G2 GP2. We have learned about it. 20 GB. Minimum value is 20 GB and maximum is 6144 GB. That is 6 terabyte. Auto scaling. If I zoom a little. So auto scaling. That means enable this feature to allow the storage to increase after specific threshold is exceed. Right. So if your storage is getting over, like after 20 GB, Amazon will make sure that your underlying storage will not get full. So you can see minimum value is 22 GB and maximum is 6 terabyte. So what will happen after Amazon will find out that your storage is getting full, it will automatically increase your storage and maximum it will go to, right now I'm specifying 1000 GB, that is 1 terabyte, but you can go up to 6 terabyte. So if you want to enable auto scaling, enable it. Now connect to EC2 machine, let it be IPv4. I'm not changing this thing. Now public access. Remember for EC2 machine we have enabled public access, public IP address. If you want your database to be publicly available, you should click here. If not, click no. But right now we are going to connect our EC2 machine from our local laptop, our RDS machine from our local laptop, right? So that's why we are saying yes, public access, yes. Now VPC, existing VPC. Now security group. Remember we created security group for EC2 machine. Remember we created security group for EC2 machine. What was the security group basically used for? Managing the traffic which is coming in and out of your EC2 machine. So what type of traffic do you want to allow in your EC2 machine was handled by security group. So again I am creating everything in Mumbai. Even RDS is regional, so I'm creating in Mumbai region, right? So if you go to your security group in Mumbai region, create a new security group. Create a new security group and give the name as my DB security group. Give description. Now what type of port should inbound traffic should be allowed? What type of inbound traffic should be allowed? SSH HTTPS was allowed for our EC2 machine, but RDS database, what type of protocol? In which protocol RDS works on? Port 3306. Port 3306. If you go here and if you scroll down, you will see that. Go to advanced configuration. Here you can see the port. Okay, so I want to create a security group which will support port 3306. I'm creating that and I'm allowing 000 open to world again. In real scenario, we are not going to create a database which is open to world, but for our practice we are doing that. In industry, your database is more secure because this contains your customer information. So databases are always private, they are not public. So but right now we are, for practice, we are going for public database. So I have created this security group. Right now, come to your configurations. In VPC security group, cancel the default one. Now if you are able to find your security group right now, so I have created my DB security group which is not here. I have to refresh the page again. यहाँ पे रिफ्रेश का ऑप्शन नहीं है तो पूरा पेज रिफ्रेश करना पड़ेगा and I have to start from again. Okay, my secure MySQL database, engine MySQL, whatever you want to select the version, free tier, availability and durability, it is gray out, we will see that after some time. Give the name of your database, MySQL DB, admin 1 2 3 4, give any password. This is a username and password which you will use to connect to your EC2 machine. T2 micro, right? Storage 20 GB allocation, auto scaling up to 100 GB, 1000 GB. Then EC2 machine, do you want to connect to EC2 machine? No. Default security group, all three availability zone. Public access, yes. Then security group, existing security group, you can click cancel and select your own MyDB security group. You could have created a new security group from here. Okay, you could have created a new security group from here, but it will create the same one जो हमने बनाया, हमने manually बनाया. Okay, do you have any preference in which availability zone the machine will be created, this database will be created? So it will be in a single availability zone, similar to EC2 machine. This is again a machine on which we are installing our MySQL database. Proxy not required. This is, let it be default. Database authentication, I don't want to do any changes here. Additional configurations, just give here MyDB. All these steps are there in your assignment. So if you open your assignment, all these steps are available here. Okay, I don't want to do anything apart from here. Backups, enable automatic backup. As of now, I am disabling the backup. Okay, I am disabling the backup. We will enable the backup in our further classes. Maintenance window, I will explain you what is maintenance window, but right now you can see estimated charges, that is $20. But if you are in free tier, you can see it is saying that you will be getting no charge. Just create the database. Now database will take couple of minutes. No, I'm not doing anything right now. It is asking me to create a elastic cache to increase the performance right now. I'm not doing right. That is right now. Okay. So now you can see your database getting created. The database is creating. So it will take some time to create your database. Meanwhile, if you have any question, let me know. So is this database again? Now, if you want to understand, underline this database. What is there? There is a EC2 machine. Here there is a EC2 machine on which Amazon is making sure that they are installing the database which is required by you, that is MySQL. Okay, they have the template available with them. So they are going to create one EC2 machine for you. They are going to install the OS, they are going to install the application, that is MySQL, and this database will be available for you to use. Apart from that, what are the challenges which you are facing? Amazon will make sure that you will not face that challenge in the cloud. How can we enable that? How can we use that? We are going to see right now. But is it clear? Okay, so it is similar to how you're creating the EC2 machine. It is similar how you are creating the EC2 machine. Now, one thing remember, can you log into this EC2 machine? Can you log in into the EC2 machine? Means आप इसके OS में login कर सकते हो क्या? Can you install any other software on this EC2 machine? So answer is no. You cannot log in into the EC2 machine. You can only able to log in into the database. Database जो सॉफ्टवेयर जो हमने इंस्टॉल किया है, इट्स अ सॉफ्टवेयर, सिंपल सॉफ्टवेयर. The software or the database which we have installed, we are will able to log in into the software, या जो एप्लीकेशन बोलो आप इसको, हम उसी को एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. अंडरलाइन EC2 मशीन, अंडरलाइन OS, हम उसमें लॉगिन नहीं कर सकते. In RDS we will not able to log in into the EC2 machine. So operation or maintenance of the underlying hardware, underlying uh, OS, it is not given to us. हम लोग नहीं कर सकते. It is managed by Amazon. It is totally managed by Amazon. Clear? So your database is getting created and it's available to use. Nice. Okay. So this is my database. Click here. Now, similar to EC2 machine, it has some properties. You can see connectivity. This is the URL of my database. It is not providing IP address. EC2 machine में हमको IP address मिलता था, but in database we get an endpoint just like a similar to this URL. Okay, EC2 में हमको IP address मिलता था, but here we are getting endpoint. Where it is installed? AP South 1D availability zone. Security group, we have selected default security VPC, we have selected default VPC. Security group, we created our own security group where the inbound traffic was 3306 and open to the world. Then you have enabled public access. Yes. Certificates वगैरह it's not required. Subnets, all four subnets. Okay. Proxy, connection, compute resource, nothing is there. Monitoring. Remember, we were able to monitor our EC2 machine health and performance. Similar to that, Amazon has given you some out of the box graphs. And again, all these things will be stored in CloudWatch. All the information about your databases, health, its logs will be moved to CloudWatch. Logs an event. If any alarm is there, if you are finding some issue, what you are doing with your databases. So this is the events which you have performed right now on your database. Configurations. So if you want to do any changes, you can do from here. So again, T2 micro, 1 GB RAM, 1 CPU, username, password, encryption. It is not encrypted yet. So your database is not encrypted. Ideally, it should be encrypted, right? But because we are in free tier, this option was not available. We can add it after creating the database. Recommendations given by Amazon: turn on the automatic backups, turn on the monitoring, create multi-z. We'll talk about all these things in some time. Maintenance and backups. So this is a maintenance window. What is maintenance window? What is mean by maintenance window in general? When you are doing any activity on your database, you should select a maintenance window. At that time, your database will get slow. मेंटेनेंस टाइम का मतलब क्या है? आप उस पर कोई एक्टिविटी कर रहे हो, यू आर अपग्रेडिंग द सिस्टम, यू आर डूइंग सम क्लीन अप एक्टिविटी, यू आर डूइंग सम ऑपरेशन एंड मेंटेनेंस ऑफ योर डेटाबेस. सो उसमें क्या होगा? आप डेटाबेस पे कुछ एक्टिविटी कर रहे हो तो वो डेटाबेस स्लो हो जाएगा. तो अगर कोई यूजर उस टाइम पे आपका डेटाबेस एक्सेस कर रहा होगा, सो ही और शी विल गेट अ delay in the response. So that's why we are doing all the operations and support activity in the database in a defined window. That is in generally at night. In general, we do the activity on night in night time. That is a maintenance window. So अगर आपको कोई भी changes करना है, backup लेना है वगैरह करना है, so always do in the maintenance window. Backups right now it's disabled, and that's it. Let's connect to this database. So how can we connect to the database? हमने बना लिया है. So can I use putty to connect to this database? No. So there are a couple of softwares available in the market, but you can install MySQL Workbench. MySQL Workbench. If you go in MySQL Workbench, you will able to download it directly. ओके. माई एसक्यूएल के लिए है, हर इंजन के लिए अलग वर्क बेंच है. सो दिस इज गिव यू अ जीयूआई. इट विल प्रोवाइड यू अ जीयूआई which will be you will able to log it into your MySQL database. So you can install this thing, MySQL Workbench. Okay, MySQL Workbench. I have installed in my local system, so I'm opening it. I'm starting this. Okay, so it will look something like this. When you log in, it will open this thing. That this is the first page which will be shown to you. Now if you click on plus button, so this is a connection. I so you can connect to multiple databases, but right now we have only one database, so it is showing this thing. Give the name my demo connection. Any name you want to give. Now here host name. Can you see the IP address? Instead of IP address, you have to give the name of endpoint of your DB. That is this one, endpoint. So where can I find the endpoint? Go to your database, and here it will show you the endpoint. Paste it here. Port 3306 agree. Now what is the username? Admin. And click on test connection. If everything is fine, it will ask for the password. Otherwise, if it's having problem, it will show you not able to connect. Now you can see successfully made the connection. मतलब मैं उसको connect कर पा रहा हूँ. Click on OK. So it is saved. Now click on this. It will open this console. So now you can see I am connected to my database. I am connected. So you if you know the SQL queries, you will able to use it. So you have to select database, that is my DB. Use my DB, or if you want to show how many databases are there, show databases. This is a command. So you can see there are 4 to 5 databases, databases in my DB. So database is just like creating a folder. So this is one folder, this is another folder, this is, so inside each database there are multiple tables. So if I go to here, use info, so I have selected this database, show tables. Okay, you can execute query from here. This is a command. Now here you can see there are this many tables are available out of the box. ठीक है, इस डेटाबेस के अंदर जो कि हमने इंफॉर्मेशन स्कीमा करके डेटाबेस है, उसके अंदर इतने सारे tables available है. Now if you want to go, just select any one table. Let's go with this statistics. So how can you select the data inside the table? Select star from a given table. So SQL queries आपको आना चाहिए for working on the table. So you can see the information inside this database. So this is a table, statistics का एक table है जिसमें इतने सारे records available, information available है. Okay, you can select any table, you can select any data. So right now we have pulled 1000 records from the database. So 1000 record की information आ रही है. So जनरली आपने कहाँ पे डेटाबेस यूज होते हुए देखा है? मेडिकल स्टोर में बहुत कॉमनली यूज होता है आपका डेटाबेस. आपके ग्रोसरी स्टोर्स पे आजकल डेटाबेस यूज होते हैं जहाँ पे सारी इंफॉर्मेशन रहती है कितना स्टॉक वगैरह पड़ा हुआ है. राइट, दिस इज हाउ इन द बिहाइंड द सीन द डेटाबेस विल बी लुक लाइक. सो डेटा टेबलो फॉर्मेट में है. आपके आधार कार्ड, आपके पैन कार्ड, आप वो सब लिंक है, वो सब डेटाबेस में स्टोर होता है. राइट, now you can create your own table, you can create your own uh, data. So I have one data available with me, so I will use let's go with the show databases. So इतने सारे database है, I am using this database, use my DB. So I have switched to the database, show table. तो यहाँ पे कोई भी डेटाबेस में इस डेटाबेस में MySQL में कोई भी टेबल नहीं है. So I can create one table. So you should know the query, otherwise queries are here. So MySQL table करके है. So you can see this is a query, or this is a command to create the table. Now what is my creating a table? So मेरे पास एक डेटा है. Yeah, can you see the flight shots? मेरे पास एक डेटा है, फ्लाइट्स की इंफॉर्मेशन है यहाँ पे। ओके, मेरे पास ये फ्लाइट की इंफॉर्मेशन है। आई हैव अ डेटा नियरली आई थिंक 50,000 रिकॉर्ड्स आर देयर। यस, आई हैव अ डेटा वेयर in 2015 how many flights have taken off, उसका इंफॉर्मेशन है। कौन सी तारीख को गई थी, फ्लाइट्स लिया था, दिस इज अ डेट। ओके, this is a airline, in which airline this flight has taken to belongs to. This is a flight number, tail number, flight number, tail number. So this is some information. Origin, from which airport the flight took off, and it went land on which airport. So this is, you can see San Francisco, then LA, all this information. So schedule time, schedule departure, departure time, all this information is available in this data. So this is some data I have with me. So I have to use the data in a database. यहाँ पे मैं कर सकता हूँ चीज़ें, एक्सेल में आप कर सकते हो, बट मुझे एक्सेल इज़ नॉट ऑप्टिमाइज टू प्ले विद द यूज डेटा। सो मुझे पहले ये डेटा को अपने डेटाबेस में डालना है। सो हाउ कैन यू डू दैट? So first of all, you have to understand the data. So you can see that there are how many columns? There are 31 columns. So you have to define each column कि वो कॉलम क्या है, क्या इंफॉर्मेशन आएगी। जैसे ये ईयर है, मंथ है, डेट है, तो उसको बोलते हैं स्कीमा। सो यू कैन सी ईयर इंटीजर है ना, इंटीजर आएगा, ये इंटीजर आएगा, ये इंटीजर आएगा, ये वैरकेर आएगा या स्ट्रिंग आएगा। So you have to create table accordingly, structure of the table. So you can see I'm creating a table inside my database, name as table info, flight info, and I'm giving year, month. तो ये हेडर होता है ना, जो आपके टेबल का जो हेडर होता है वो आता है यहाँ पे, हम उसको बनाते हैं। इंटीजर, एयरलाइन इज वेर केयर, मतलब स्ट्रिंग, मतलब कैरेक्टर्स, फ्लाइट इंफॉर्मेशन इंटीजर है, एंड सो ऑन। सो इसको मैं पूरा बना के रखा हुआ है, कॉपी करो and come here in the query console and paste it and run the query. Now you can see table is created successfully. Now delete this thing from here. Now if you execute show tables, it has created one table, flight info. What's there in this table right now? Select star from flight info. It's empty right now. हमने डेटा लोड किया क्या इस पे? सिर्फ स्ट्रक्चर लोड किया था हमने, नहीं किया था ना? So if you refresh here, you can see this flight information is giving some all this column information. Now I can load the table data. ये जो मेरी फाइल है लोकल पे, कितने MB की है? 5 MB की फाइल है। आई कैन लोड दिस थिंग इनटू माय डेटाबेस। ये कॉमन है, दिस इज नॉट specific to your RDS or anything, this is common. Just right click on this, import wizard, click on this, select the file, flight info, click on next button, click on next, next, That's it. It will start uploading the data. थोड़ा टाइम लगता है, 5-10 मिनट लगेगा, but it will do that task for you. But it's slow. 5 MB की फाइल को ही उसको 15-20, कभी कभी 15-20 मिनट लग जाते हैं. Okay, so I have given the document as well, how you can import the data into MySQL database using Workbench. स्टेप बाय स्टेप मैंने डाल रखा है. ओके, नाउ इफ आई विल शो यू, वो तो प्रोसेस चल रहा है. कितने रिकॉर्ड्स आए अभी? सिलेक्ट काउंट फ्रॉम पैड इन्फो. अभी तक सिर्फ 200 रिकॉर्ड आए हैं. दैट स्लो दिस इज. टिल नाउ ओनली 200 रिकॉर्ड्स आर इंपोर्टेड. आई हैव 50,000 रिकॉर्ड्स. Okay, slowly and it will upload the data. Meanwhile, if you want to upload the data directly, मतलब अभी हमने क्या किया, हमने वर्कबेंच में लॉगिन के थ्रू हमने अपने डेटाबेस में लॉगिन किया. एट दिस पॉइंट एनीबडी हैज एनी क्वेश्चन कि हम क्या कर रहे हैं, क्या क्यों कर रहे हैं, समझ नहीं आ रहा, बताइए. यस, नो.
Right now you're just going ahead and importing the data from this particular file path.
यस, दैट्स इट.
It's an Excel format, and you're putting it into MySQL.
यस, दैट्स इट. बट हाउ टू क्रिएट डेटाबेस, मेजरली इट्स,
Create table.
या
That
या,
would be the one to create tables.
यस यस. बट मोर इम्पोर्टेंट, हाउ वी क्रिएट अ डेटाबेस इन द क्लाउड. This is, now you can see the connection. Here you can see connections, how many connections we have done. So there are two connection right now. One is direct connection which I have done, and number of connection, yeah, and the connection where it is importing the data right now. Okay, so you can check how many connections, what are the things going on with my database. Apart from this, what is multi-z? We'll start with that. But are we clear what we are doing? So we created a database. We connected to that database using MySQL Workbench. This is the one way we can connect. You can connect to your database. Even you can connect your database. अच्छा, यहाँ पे जो हमारा local laptop है ना, EC2 is also a machine, right? So you can create one EC2 machine, and using EC2 machine you can connect to the database, ये वाला database. But the problem is that you require a connector. अभी हमने कौन सा connector use किया है? MySQL Workbench.
MySQL.
In our Windows, which application we have used? MySQL Workbench,
MySQL workbench.
right? अब EC2 क्या है? Linux है, right? For Linux or in general, there are connectors available. So the connector is MySQL connector. You will find a client. दोनों कुछ भी बोल सकते हो. It's a software you have to install on my EC2 machine, which will help you to connect to your database. MySQL का connector. So generally the word is connector. So for different database you will find different connector. So you have to find your connector for your EC2 machine. So it is already there in here. Okay, yeah, SQL queries. Yeah, how to install MySQL client or connector. So you will find this thing. All the articles are given. MySQL client कैसे install करना है EC2 machine पे. So I have given some queries. I have given some all this information. You have to just use them. MySQL query, MySQL table. Okay, install client. This is a command to install the client, or you can just refer this article. Okay, Now, why I'm showing this thing through EC2 machine, you can log into here because in real world, do you think you will get laptop or you will get Windows or you will get Workbench installed? हाँ ना दोनों हो सकता है. आपकी कंपनी में शायद विंडोज यूज नहीं हो या आपको वर्कबेंच इंस्टॉल करने का एक्सेस नहीं हो. बट यू कैन सी द वर्कबेंच. आई हैव यूजिंग वर्कबेंच टू इंस्टॉल इंपोर्ट द डेटा. कितना इंपोर्ट हुआ अभी तक? 800 रिकॉर्ड्स. दैट्स इट. आई हैव टू. और ये कितना फाइल है? बहुत बड़ी फाइल है क्या? इट्स ओनली 5 MB. इट शुड हैव upload the data immediately. Workbench is quite slow to upload the data. So what you can do? So in real world, what actual people do? They upload the data to S3. They upload the data to S3, and from S3 they copy the data into the EC2 machine. Okay, they copy data into the EC2 machine, and from EC2 machine they push the data to RDS. They push data to RDS. I will show you. It will take 5 seconds to upload the data. So let me stop this. Okay, so it's not in your syllabus, it's not you have to do hands on. If अगर आप नहीं करोगे तो भी चलेगा. I'm just showing you. This is a, again, out of the box thing which I'm showing you. It's not required as such. So create a EC2 machine, launch my demo EC2 machine for MySQL. So I'm selecting old version of our my OS, T2 micro, key value pair same my August. Security group. Okay, here you have to select EC2 security group, huh? Not database. EC2. I have to log into the EC2 machine, not database. And everything as it was previously we had done. Launch. Connect to this EC2 machine. SSH key, authentication key, pass the PPK, and I'm connecting to the EC2 machine. Let me increase the font for you. Done. Okay, now how can I install my, here I have to install the connector. Just type yum install sudo yum install. Yes, so I have done. Let me check if I my SQL. Okay, if you are, if you have not installed the connector, so if you type MySQL, it will give you an error that MySQL not found. But here I have to give the command, right? So now I'm logging. मैंने workbench से login किया था, right? So this is the query. You can see there are 900 records. मैं अभी इस EC2 से login कर रहा हूँ इस मशीन को. किसमें? मैं EC2 से login कर रहा हूँ डेटाबेस में. मैं EC2 में आ चुका हूँ. इसमें मैंने कनेक्टर इंस्टॉल कर लिया. अब मैं यहाँ से इसको कनेक्ट करता हूँ. So what is the command? Now the problem with your EC2 machine, it is Linux. You have to go with the command. Everything has to be, you have to type everything. So what is the command to log into the EC2 machine? To MySQL. This is the command. So MySQL hyphen username. Give the username, that is admin hyphen p hyphen h. Here you have to pass the URL of your database. That is this complete one and pasted. Okay, so now it is asking the password, admin 1234. Now you can see I have logged in. You can see the terminal, it has changed to MySQL. पहले EC2 का डॉलर वाला था, now it has changed to MySQL. अगर आप लॉग इन कर गए तो it will give you welcome to MariaDB monitor, MySQL, Oracle, ठीक है, वो लाइसेंस है. So same command show databases. अब यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम क्या है? You have to type everything databases. No suggestion, nothing. Use MyDB. No GUI. Okay, I think there is no work clear. No. Okay, and show table. You can see the table here. Show select count from flight info. It is giving select star from my info limit 10. Now you can see if I'm fetching the data from table, कितना गंदा दिख रहा है यहाँ पे कंसोल में EC2 मशीन के थ्रू. अगर मैं ये चीज़ यहाँ पे क्वेरी मारूंगा, सेम क्वेरी यहाँ पे मस्त टेबलो फॉर्मेट में दिखेगा. वर्कबेंच का बेनिफिट ही है, इट गिव्स यू अ GUI. It gives you GUI. Now, one thing just I want to show you, how can you put the data into S3 and then through S3 to EC2 machine to this much to RDS. Just so what I am going to do, I am going to delete all the record. Right click here, truncate table. Truncate means truncate. It will just delete all the records. Yeah, it has empty the table. Now I have the data in my local system. Upload to your S3 bucket. This is file information. Go to your S3 bucket. Upload the data to your S3 bucket. Upload. So select any bucket and just upload the data. So here flight short information is there in this bucket. Now I have to copy this data into the EC2 machine. Copy this data into the EC2 machine. So कैसे करेंगे? Let you have to give a role to your EC2 machine first. S3 का रोल देना पड़ेगा. Security IAM role हमने बना के रखा होगा एक EC2 machine S3 full access. Just give this, right? So this is my machine. Let me exit from my database. Exit. So मैं वहाँ से exit कर गया database से, मैं EC2 machine में आ गया. PWD. अब AWS S3 LS करते पहले. Yeah, I can access my buckets. So copy. So कहाँ से copy करना है मुझे? Bucket से copy करना है इसका. Just give the S3 URI. Click on here. Copy the S3 URI. And give the path. कौन से path में copy करना है? Home / EC2 users जहाँ पे अभी हम लोग हैं. हो गया? देखो EC2 मशीन के अंदर आ गई मेरी फाइल. Simple. Now just to copy the command from your EC2 machine to your database, command is this. ठीक है, सब कुछ लिखा हुआ है, आप एक बार देख लेना. लोड डेटा फ्लाइट इन्फो, फाइल का नाम फ्लाइट इन्फो लिखना है इनटू टेबल का नाम और यहाँ पे DB. सो हियर इज इन माय DB डेटाबेस. फ्लाइट इंफॉर्मेशन एंड द फाइल का नाम फ्लाइट इन्फो लिखना है। मेरा क्या है, फ्लाइट शॉर्ट है, ओके, रीनेम करते हैं फाइल को। इसका सेम होना चाहिए जो कि आपका फाइल का टेबल का नाम है। रीनेम द फाइल। सो आपके फाइल का नाम हो गया है फ्लाइट इन्फो। हाँ, फ्लाइट इन्फो हो गया। टेबल का नाम और फाइल का नाम सेम होना चाहिए। एंड जस्ट क्लिक दिस थिंग। ओके, नाउ लॉग इन टू योर डेटाबेस अगेन। सो जो डेटाबेस में लॉगिन करने का कमांड क्या था, यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है, ऊपर लिखा था ना हमने। बस ये लाइन और ऐड करनी है, ये फाइल लोड करने के काम आती है। लोड द फाइल, माई एसक्यूएल एडमिन पाथ एंड हाइफन हाइफन लोड फाइल, लोकल इन फाइल करके पैरामीटर ऐड कर रहा हूँ मैं लॉग इन कर गया और ये कमांड एग्जीक्यूट कर दो। देखो कितना सेकंड लगा फाइल लोड होने में, 1 सेकंड। इट हैज लोडेड 50,000 फाइल। जाके चेक करते हैं ना डेट, इसके अंदर काउंट निकालते हैं यहाँ पे। यू कैन सी द फाइल काउंट 50,000 स्टार लिमिट 10। यू कैन सी 10 रिकॉर्ड्स आते हैं। वर्क बेंच से अपलोड कर सकते हो, बट आई फाउंड वर्क बेंच स्लो काम करता है। यू कैन डायरेक्टली अपलोड थ्रू योर एस बकेट। तो यहाँ पे अगर 10 GB का डेटा है, यू कैन इजीली अपलोड टू माई स्केल। सो देर आर सम डेटाबेस जस्ट लाइक Redshift, Oracle, जो जहाँ पे डायरेक्टली आप S3 से कॉपी कर सकते हो। आपको EC2 मशीन में लेके आने की जरूरत नहीं है। MySQL doesn't support direct S3 commands, but Redshift support करता है। Redshift is a Amazon database, Amazon proprietary database. So just you have to pass the command copy from S3, वो कर देगा। Okay, so now what type of query you can do? So you can see that here I have written queries. So select count from the database, you can execute, right? Select star limit 10, we have done. Now if you see your data, let's play with data little. Now you can see this is a flight information. What you can do with the data? Let's say I want to just sum up the distance traveled by all the flights. Okay, how much distance traveled by a flight? You can find some column name as distance. Yes, here distance करके. So just I want to sum 50,000 records are there. I want to sum all the flight information, distance traveled by total flight information, total flights. So this is a total distance traveled by all the flights. Now I want information where my origin airport is LX, Los Angeles. Give me the information where my origin airport was LA. Give me the information where origin airport is LA but departure was less than 0. Delay. Departure delay was less than 0. So you can get this information from database quickly. So you can see origin airport is LA and departure is less than 0. Now I want I want all the flights which by their company name. I need number of flights of each company. ये कंपनी का नाम है, एयरलाइन का नाम है। I want to get the count of all the flights took by their airline name in year 2015. So AS करके जो कंपनी है, उसके 1500 फ्लाइट्स फ्लाई हुई थी। ए करके जो कंपनी है उसकी 4800 फ्लाइट्स काउंट हुआ था विद इन द गिवन डेटा. So that's why airline and count group by airline. So these are the queries. If you know the SQL, you can easily understand what I'm doing. Okay. So now instead of count, I want to get the average distance उस airlines के flights ने cover किया था during the 2015. So this is the advantage of database. You can just write some queries and get the output. So in industry, this is database is one of the important thing to learn. Agree? So now, as we are done, I'm shutting down the database. We'll start up the database tomorrow again. So click on the database, go to action and delete. So now it is asking you to, do you want to take a backup? So unselect this option. It is asking you to take the backup of the database. No, I don't want to take backup. Delete me. And I acknowledge that I don't need to take backup. Okay. So kindly deselect or unselect the backup and take the backup option. Otherwise, if you take the backup, it will you will get charged.
You basically selected that option where you don't want to have a backup and then you clicked on delete.
Yes, acknowledge and delete. Yes.
Right, okay. I was seeing some message over there in the this thing that if you are not going to take this, then what will happen?
Yeah, this is a database, na. This is giving a warning. Why? Because
Warning.
why? Because database means you have huge information in database, right? It's giving you a warning that are you sure
Okay.
you are deleting the database, you are not taking backup because in each everywhere the database is important, right?
Yes.
So if performing some action, make sure you are doing that thing right. That's what the warning is.
Okay, showing deleting over here.
It will take 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any question on database right now? So go with the theory. Moreover, in exam, you have to understand the theory. So yeah, I have shown you how you can log in into the database, how can you connect to the database, how can you load the data into the database. But yeah, but if you go with the other syllabus, means if you go the on different online platform where you learn this RDS machine and all these things, you won't find they are going to log in. So you have to find on Google how to log into database, how can you load the database. So it's not required for exam. Again, logging into database, loading the data is not asked in exam. In exam, moreover, the questions related to database will be asked. Okay, moreover, theory side. Okay, so I'm shutting down my EC2 machine as well. Yeah, so I'm stopping here. I wanted to cover this PPT, that is read replica, but it will take half an hour. So we'll cover tomorrow. What is read replica? What is backups, storing backup, multi-z, read replicas, and exam tips. So we'll cover this tomorrow. Okay. So how can, so all the challenges which we have faced in, or we generally industry is facing while creating database on premise, how Amazon has provided the solution to you. Okay. So how Amazon has provided solution to you for all these challenges. We'll see one by one. Okay, so I'm stopping here. Let me know if you have any question.